Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's Hooptalk, the podcast, season 3. We're doing things new like we talked about in the last episode. If you're not familiar, make sure you go tap into episode 1, understand what our vision is for season 3, what we want to do moving forward. So we know we're going to get a lot of new faces and a lot of new ears tapped into the podcast. So we're going to do an intro, at least for the first 3 episodes, just to make sure everybody does remember who we are. And then if you tune in for the first time later on, well, you're just gonna have to go watch the first 3 episodes to know who the hell is talking, right?
Right.
But it's your boy Hoop Talk Nas, man, and I got the same gang as usual. I got Hoop Talk Pluto on one side of the screen, and I got Hoop Talk Tyler on the other side of the screen, man. Y'all say hi to the people, and let's get to potting.
Let's get it.
Oh, I thought Tyler was gonna say something. All
I
right.
couldn't.
But
We got a little pump over here.
yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it, man. GM5 is still our most prominent topic. It's the most basketball we have going on right now in our general area. So we're gonna make that our focus until more basketball starts spinning around the block. So GM5 week 2 just concluded, man. There's some great action during the games. There's been some very fun action post game as well. And your boy Nas has some breaking news. I apologize, City Ballers. I hope this is not the first time you're hearing it. I hope by the time you see this episode, the news has already been broken to you, because you're gonna be upset. You know what I mean? I apologize. I'm not upset. I'm happy. We're gonna see why. Um, but we
Is it
could
the
talk about the
burn?
games. We could just talk about the
Why would you
games
be
straight
upset
up.
about that?
Upset about what?
The Burno move.
Oh,
Yeah.
you'll see. You'll see. Um, but let's get into it, man. Let's just talk about the actual games themselves and see who played, see what our thoughts are on those. Let me pull it up. I should have had it up already, but I didn't. But I have it now. First game of the day was Prey, not Team Prey. We have to get it right. I've been cussed out.
All right.
It's
You had
simply,
it right.
yeah, it's simply Prey, not Team Prey. Shout out to Djax and Lou. They went up against Dream Chasers. They were able to win that game 64-57. For some reason, I remember that game being a larger deficit, but I guess that's not true. I don't know why.
It felt like it.
It was. Dream Chasers did go on a pretty decent run in that fourth quarter, I would
They
say.
did. Now that I think about it, yeah, they went on a little run.
Yeah, you know who did not go on a run? Game 2. But we're going to get to that in a second. I was looking at the scores and wowzers, man. That was crazy. But yeah, Team Prey versus, well, I apologize, Prey. Prey versus Dream Chasers, man.
Again,
Give us your thoughts. What were your highs? What were your lows? Talk to us.
bro, Chris Williams could not miss. Do you remember us talking about him? There was a point where I'm pretty sure he hit 6 in a row. I don't even know if he hit 6 threes in total, but it felt like he hit 6 threes in a row. That team was looking really good, though. Um, they felt like they were in control for most of that game. They didn't have Brandon White at the beginning, so we saw a lot of Daniel Moore at the center, which we kind of talked about being a position for my team, and I thought that was pretty good. But things got even better once Brandon White came back, and they kind of went on a pretty substantial run in the third or the fourth of them. I'm correct. Um, Dream Chasers, I thought that they looked a lot better with Bounty Bra. I still think that they need to make a few additions to that team, but I think overall, um, I just think going into that, Prey was going in the better team, and they kind of delivered what we expected.
Yeah, I agree with Tyler. I think Prey showed their capability, showed their length and their size when it comes to like dominating on the boards. I know we don't have stats, but they were rebounding the hell out of the ball as a unit. You got someone like D Jackson. TP heard me. He's gonna probably comment when I said this. I was like, "Why are you playing like this?" Because he is playing possessed right now. He's using every single ounce of weight on these smaller point guards in this league. And when I mean so small, I'm not talking about the actual height. I'm talking about the mass of the players. Djax easily can guard the 1 through 4 because he's so strong. And when you have these smaller point guards, they cannot guard him when he posts up. They can't guard him when he decides to go through a straight drive through the hole. And he's also capable of making jumpers and making a couple assists here and there. I think the Prey literally preyed on their food when it came to this team. Another thing about Dream Chasers has been the same problem since the beginning. They don't have a point guard. Bouncy is not a point guard. Maybe he has capability of swinging the ball and passing the ball, but actually being a point guard, they're still lacking at that. In this league, every team has a dynamic point guard they can trust or give the ball to. Most of the teams, at least. in this league. So I think they're always going to run into continuity problems when it comes to swinging the ball and everybody getting the appropriate touches. I only got to really see the second half because I was a little late. But another thing as well, with that team, it's just going to be the fact that they lack size. When it comes to these teams, the bigger teams in this league that are dominant, they are rebounding the ball both sides, offense and defense. So takeaway, I think Prey did exactly what they were supposed to do. They dominated and bullied these guys. But at the end of the day, you got to give it to Team Prey. It was definitely a dominant team win there. Most of the game they were up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely shout out Team Prey. Shout out Lou. Lou had some timely baskets
Hey,
for sure.
listen,
Some
no
clutch
more
free
Team
throws.
Prey. No more Team Prey.
Oh, Prey had some clutch basket. Oh, Lou had some clutch baskets.
We're putting money in that jar every time. Every time.
I'm gonna just say team just to piss them off. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, I think Dream Chasers definitely. I mean, we talked about it in the broadcast. I think I think me and Tyler did that game, and we talked about in detail kind of what we thought could be used for them to improve. And I would say the addition of Turon definitely is going to make things a little different for them in certain areas for sure. He did end up having 5 assists, I believe. I don't actually know where I saw that, but I saw he had 5 assists somewhere. I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, I did see the stats somewhere else. They just haven't posted it on the website. That's what it was. And he had about 5 assists from what I was able to see. I scanned through it, didn't really look at it too deep. And I mean that's something, you know what I mean? That's a pretty much around the number that you're gonna see at these levels. You don't really see, that 8, 9, 10 assist games too frequently. You know what I mean? It's always those high assist numbers tend to be around that 6, 7 range. So I think it made a difference. I mean, they played a good team last year in OTB, and they played a good team, or at least a team that's expected to be good this week. I think I said last year. I meant to say last week. And then this week they played, Prey, who we anticipate is going to be a good team, and they kept it close. You know what I mean? They were able to make a push in that fourth quarter, which is a good sign, and hopefully gives them optimism to continue to tweak and continue to upgrade where they need to, because they can put the pieces together without needing to necessarily gut the core of what they came in with. But Bouncy is a great player. He can definitely be one of your leading scorers or go-to guys. Kel is a very versatile player to have. The addition of Turon could definitely make a difference. There's players available, you know what I mean? And we talked about some options that are available. I'm going to actually have a side topic about that here in a moment, but I liked it. I think they have potential to do something if they make the necessary moves. If they let their stubbornness get the best of them and say, we got what we need, and we just gotta gel and get chemistry. That the bullshit basketball players always say. Then I don't think it's gonna work out. And I don't want to be an asshole, but that's just the truth. I don't think if they try to go with what they have and just try to blame chemistry and time together as their excuse, I don't believe that's going to lead to wins. I do believe they need upgrades. I do believe there's things that need to improve, players that need to step up, and hopefully they see it the same way. Because I would love Dream Chasers to be more competitive, but Prey looked good.
Yeah. Real quick, before we get off this, I did want to say I saw Jalen Merritt in the gym. He literally posted himself in the gym right after that L, still wearing his uniform. So it's like Nas says, I think it's good that some people are taking this not lightly, and I mean it's a league, it's a men's league, but still it's a pride thing, it's an ego thing, and the fact that Jalen went into the gym and said I'm still working. What I do now is I put the little hand emoji when I see a player doing something that's positive or for the team, and I send them that to let them know, hey, listen, I'm gonna talk about you and shout you out, because even in that L, you still managed to like take it respectfully and humbly and work on getting better. So I just want to shout out Jalen Merritt on that one real quick.
Yeah, I think they have potential. I mean, I forgot to mention Jalen as well. That's another piece that can really be something good for them. And I mean, who knows? Jalen could also be a piece that maybe, just maybe, becomes a casualty of war, and you could put that as a trade piece to get better somewhere else, right? That's something that could be.
There's a lot of teams that can use Jalen. There is. You really think of a team that needs a scoring guard. Jalen can do pretty much anything. He's a great defender as well. He's a finisher. He's a great passer. We've seen him shoot.
Listen,
you put him on a lot of teams.
But Bubba doesn't want to accept it. He won't admit it. But listen, from the rumor mill, Willie Nunez is on the trade block, and if he wants to go somewhere to be a bigger piece of the offense and a more important piece to a winning team or to a team that he can help win, that you can't tell me Jalen's not a good fit for OTB. You know what I mean? The Melo has things going on in his life. He might miss another game or two. He's going to be there for the majority of the season. But those games that he missed, Jalen can step up. Those games that he plays, him and Melo can play side by side. You know what I mean?
A backcourt of Melo and Jalen. I kind of like that. Hey. And then you also have Luke on the wing shooting.
Hey, listen, y'all need a GM. Hit me up, man. I can make it work for you. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, Team Prey, not to bypass them. They did a good job. Hey. They look great out there. Oh, I'm sorry, Prey. Golly, it's gonna take some time to get used to that. I don't know where I even initially got the Team Prey concept from. I'm pretty sure the first time
when I initially went on GM5, I thought it said Team Prey. I think that's
it was me and Tyler. It was actually me and Tyler together. I remember that, Tyler, because I was saying Team Prey too.
I'm gonna try my best.
I read it off of there because it said teams, and then I read Prey, and that's all.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say something, and you guys take this. It's a team of players, and their name is Prey. Wouldn't it be Team Prey regardless?
Well, why do we call it Team OTB or Team,
Team Park
Legends, Team NWO?
I think it's just they're Prey. It's just hard to say. Just Prey. It's a weird word.
Listen, we're gonna get used to it. At some point, maybe not today's podcast, maybe not the next, but one of them eventually. All right.
Listen, y'all better pray you get it right.
We got 13 long weeks.
I see what you did there, but yeah, Prey. I mean, they look good. I definitely want to see them against the top teams, or at least the teams that we anticipate to be the top teams. I guess nobody's really established themselves as that just yet. The team that we anticipated to be that did just have a major change, which I don't believe will alter our predictions of where they'll land in the standings in the long term. But I think it will alter their ability to match up during certain weeks. That's my opinion, but we'll get to that soon. But yeah, Prey did a good job. The second game, though, we can move on to that one, as it was Count Up versus Lions Perception, which is...
Hold on. I told Count Up I'm going to give him something special.
Why can't we hear
I can't even hear the clap.
That's weird.
Why can't I hear the clap?
Yeah, why couldn't we hear the clap?
Golly, you're supposed to be BTA.
That's so weird.
Man. Yeah, damn.
Bad,
whatever mic you're using, that's like top tier technology. That's crazy. That is insane.
I tried to find a belt, but I couldn't find a belt. I told him how to grab a belt and go like this because they won by 20, But go ahead.
This man don't own a belt.
They didn't win by 20. They won by 20.
No, they won by 40, actually.
God damn.
Yeah, so that was the game I was referring to. The team that did not make a run in the fourth quarter was Lions Perception. It was an unfortunate game. I'll start off this one because I have a take on Lions Perception. Now, Count Up is looking good. I believe Blake Hinson is gone now. I think he left on Sunday. So a lot of their players that I really want to see are going to get the opportunity to shine and take more shots, even though Kevin Beans took as many shots as he fucking wanted with Blake Hinson.
He should have taken more, though.
And he's allowed to. He's allowed
Yeah, he should have taken more. More on the side of Lions Perception, Count Up did their thing. It was a blowout. What more can we say? But on the side of Lions Perception, one thing that I feel like really needs to improve on their end is I think sometimes you, as an owner or a coach, whoever makes the decision over there, you have to come to terms with, and I say this even in the NBA. You guys can tune into our podcast from last season. I say this all the time. Just because a player is good doesn't mean he's not tradable. Right? Me and Tyler used to go back and forth about Rui Hachimura all the time, right? How I believe he's a trade piece that I want to use to improve in other areas. But obviously I can recognize that he was a great player for the Lakers. I've never once stated that he wasn't. But sometimes you got to view your roster and decide, in order for us to improve, in order for us to make the next step in the right direction, is there a casualty in this war that we're going to have to sacrifice, right? And I always use Rui Hachimura as my example. The Lions have to be able to perceive that as well. You have to be able to understand we have a lot of good players, but as we are right now, this is my take. If y'all don't see it that way, I mean, listen, nothing I can do but just give you my opinion. My take is you have to view that you need to have a go-to guy to compete in leagues like this, right? You have to have a guy who can be what's the word they use? Gravity, who can generate gravity, who everybody's eyes gravitate towards them when they have the ball. Everybody's bodies start flinching to the left and to the right because they want to play help defense because damn, this guy has the ball now. You know what I mean? And you can look at guys like Rod, you can look at guys like AJ, you can look at guys like Melo, you can, so on and so forth. You can look at guys in the league that have that gravity to them, and I just don't think the Lions have that right now. You know what I mean? And it's going to be tough to compete because you can have a guy that goes off for 21 game. You can have a guy who hits 4 threes one game. You can have a guy who gets 15 rebounds one game. That's great. The problem is, do you have a threat that can do that again the next game, right? And that's the thing. When you look at guys, I'll use Rod and Melo. Now that they're in separate teams, I use them as an example, right? You look at Melo, he can get a triple-double one game. Are you going to sit there and say, can Melo get another triple-double again? My money's on yes. Yes, he could. Is he going to? I don't know, right? I could lose my money. That's a fact. But I can 100% say, yes, I definitely believe he can come back and get another triple-double, right? That's the gravity that he demands. Rod, he can go off for 9, 10 threes. And somebody asked you, you think he can do it again next week? I was like, I think he could. I 100% think he could drop 10 threes again. Is it likely? Of course not. But that's the gravity he demands because he's shown us, I've hit this, man. I've gone off before. I've gone off for 30. I've gone off for 40. I could do it again. Melo's had his 20 and 10 and 10 games. Melo's had his 30 and 8 assist games. He could do it again, right? That's gravity that you know for a fact every time these guys touches the ball, he's a threat to make something happen. I don't know if the Lions have that. I don't know if Pringle goes up for 30 next game in week 3, I wouldn't put my money on him going off for 30 in week 4. I'd probably bet the under on 15 points. You know what I mean? And that's not me being disrespectful. It's just he doesn't have that gravity. You know what I mean? I'm just giving you my honest take, just like I would an NBA player. Only difference is I see these guys face to face every day. So if at any point they want to smack me, oh well, listen, I'll take it. I'll move on. But that's my take.
Whoa, we're not taking shit, Ross, okay?
I'm just kidding. But I'm just kidding.
5-5. I'm not stopping nothing. Put me in a toilet.
But that's my overall take though on the Lions, and I wanted to get that out before you guys got your turn. I just think that's what they need. I'm not entirely sure where they're gonna find that, but that's what they need. They need somebody that demands that attention, that pulls in that type of gravity where it's like, damn, he has the ball again. Shit. You know what I mean? Where he makes you lose confidence in your teammates. He's like, fuck, my point guard can't guard that man. Like, fuck, my center can't guard that guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of gravity you got to demand, and they need that. I don't know how they're going to find that, but they need to. It's going to be a tough season. It's going to be a tough season.
The issue with them is, I think, consistency and effort. And one player that we just talked about that we do think could possibly be moved is Jalen Merritt. You add Jalen Merritt to that team, and maybe you move Keaton Smith, a bigger defender who can get the rebounds, which is something that I think Dream Chasers really need, someone inside that can kind of protect the paint. I think that's a good pairing for them because I think the issue with Lions is a lot in effort. Like defensively, I don't really see them trying. I don't see them putting a lot of effort. Save for Pringle, for example, Keaton, who we just saw last week. There's not consistent effort being played on defense. You're losing your man. You're not trying for loose balls. At one point, we were watching, and I think it was Lito actually, who is notoriously going to be one of the shortest guys on the court, got a rebound surrounded by like 4 Lions. That shouldn't be happening. Like he shouldn't just like will into a rebound like that. There has to be some level of effort being played. And I think offensively, they're going to continue to have some woes until they get a guy. But, like, they have the size to be a good enough team defensively, I think, to where they're passable. They have no reason to be getting blown out twice, by 25 and 30 like this when they have people that I think could play defense. I think that they can at least get some stops. But you have to, come together at some point. You have to stop slouching. You have to stop putting your head down. You have to stop complaining about these calls, and you have to get back on defense.
Listen, at the end of the day, though, before you continue, they lost both games by 40. They lost both games by 40. And
they didn't lose by 40 this game.
Yeah,
they lost by 30. It was 59 to 30.
Yeah, 30. Yeah, I did the math wrong.
Yeah.
It was.
Tyler, you have one more point?
Yeah, I think you have to come up with a different sort of game plan. I talked about this in the Ox League as well, but I think like your offense has to be centered around Pringle without Pringle having the ball in his hands a lot. I think if you can have Pringle as a cutter, um, as often as you have him handling the ball, I think you will see such better offense. Nobody moves off the ball at all. Bro, everybody is stagnant. Nobody is moving around. There's no motion at all. Create something. Start with Pringle. Have Pringle either be the primary ball handler, and when he's not handling the ball, spot him up in that corner, spot him up at the dunker's position, and have him play there. The other thing is, I think you guys need to make some moves, like Nas said. The name I had mentioned was Jalen. I don't even know if he's unhappy in his position at Dream Chasers, but I'm going to create that turmoil. And I think if you pick up Jalen because you have experience with him from the Ox League, I think that's a good move. The other move is you have a ton of other resources from the other league where you've created. See if any of them are available. There's a combine coming up, or not coming up necessarily, but there is a combine for GM5. I think that would be a great avenue to look to add talent because I think that this roster is not bad. I think the pairings are very bad, though. I don't think that they work together, and I think that's the issue.
Um, I, it's funny because I think I'm gonna take a little Doc Rivers route with the Bucks before he got hired. I am gonna because I did tell them you guys are gonna hear it first. I told him I would love to coach the team if this is too much for you. We're gonna have a conversation, me and them, this Friday about that.
Hey, chill. We need you recording and stop.
Listen, I'm trying to expand my roots. Nas won't let me even coach his fucking 5-year-old team, so I gotta go somewhere where my talents are valued. But regardless, though, I think the biggest points that I want to take away from this is once you're arguing with your own teammate, you've lost the fight. It doesn't matter what sport you play. It doesn't even matter if you're in a tag team wrestling match and now you're fighting. Even if, it doesn't matter what you do because you've already lost. You've lost your mindset. And a lot of those things are personality issues. I want to start off with Pringle, but I want to start off with saying, Pringle, I think you're an amazing basketball player. But I do think you're in a position that you can play that's doesn't look natural to the people who watch this and digest this in so many different facets. We watch NBA last year. We kind of touched on college. So we've seen what a point guard looks like. We know what a shooting guard looks like. We know how every position looks like in 2025, the archetypes. We play 2K. This is what we've done, right? So when I come with this take, I'm saying, Pringle, you need to be off the ball and you need to be dominant off the ball. When you were winning those games with the Grizzlies, you were off the ball. Yeah, you did a little ball handling to kind of take off, Ryan, take off the other point guard, which was Harvey's. You did a little ball handling, but you're so much better off the ball, and you're so much more valuable off the ball for this team. Number two, they're top heavy. They have way too many big men. And then you have a lot of personalities that aren't meshing. And I think sometimes to save a leg, you got to cut a foot. And I think there's got to be a player that you have to dispose to get more of or have a foundation, whether it not be this season, because, there's still a lot of ball left. There's still a lot of moves that can be made, but I'm just being realistic in what I see. Everybody has a chance, I think, to get in the playoffs. If not, everybody has a good chance of getting in the playoffs. If you play hard enough and win enough games, that's everybody, right? But I think this comes from just literally lack of discipline on offense, on defense. I'm not going to point out one player because I think a lot of people, that's not their version of basketball. I've seen good Ox League basketball. We've been hyped watching good Ox League basketball. And this is a representation of their league when with this collective. And I think there's some moves that need to be made. There's some players that I think need to be let go. I'm not going to say who. People are really sensitive nowadays when you mention their name, and if they don't fit somewhere, they start crying to you, start cussing you out in a loss in a game. Whole bunch of different things happen.
This is a unique experience, bro. This is absolutely a unique experience.
So, what I'm saying, and I mean this in all basketball, mindset wise, you guys just got to learn to live with each other and try to work on what you guys are good at. Cause it's all you guys are showing us is what you're bad at. And it's hard for us to do these takes, and we love this league, and it not show you guys in the right light. You guys are way better than what you're showing. And I don't care about the losses. I just care about how it's done. It's bad. It's bad. It's not your style at all. So I'm just praying they can make some pieces. Jalen Merritt is familiar with these people. He's an Ops League MVP. I think he would be a great fit with Pringles and him. There'll be an athletic duo in that backcourt. I don't think you trade Keaton. I think there's other big men on that team you can kind of makeshift to another team who may need someone who's more of a hustler or a rebounder or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, there's a lot of things that got to happen. But now let me talk about the Count Up boys, though, because we haven't showed any light to them. This is what I was expecting from them since last year. I think they finally understood that they cannot play down to the level of their competition. And this was a perfect trap game for them. I mean, obviously, you have Blake Henson. You're never really going to be trapped. But this is a perfect game for them to make it too close or closer than what it needs to do. It was a BTA the whole game. And that's how I want your guys' season to be. Let Beans be your primary shooter to spread the floor for Jalen. You got Lenore's coming off the bench, which is another high Q point guard, just like Lito. They're brothers, to be honest with you. Nas looked at me in the
Looks like he
game and
started.
said, "Yeah, you have now pieces. Dakota, a bigger, small forward who can hang with these muscular guys. You have two legitimate, almost 7-footers on your team. 6'9" Johnny Brown. You have all the pieces to be the best team in this league. Minus Blake, even taking Blake out of here, because Blake's really just running a fast break and playing defense. Let's be honest, you guys. He's not taking this all the way
Blake's
serious.
fucking around.
I agree
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
half of that
He's
statement.
he's got bigger fish to fry. We all know that. But I do believe when Blake leaves, they might take a little step back and try to figure themselves out again. But with you having all this talent on your team and players that didn't even show up last week that are still great players that you're going to have coming up soon, I think this team's the only thing stopping
Listen,
them was just like last year themselves.
Attendance.
I'm
I think
team
attendance.
I'm team count up this
Yeah.
season as well because I enjoyed the additions that I saw in the offseason. I'm a huge Beans fan. I've always loved Beans on the Serpents and always wish for him to stick around as long as possible. So I'm a count up fan, but the question always stands. Is this really the game that showed something? They did a lot, but who did they do it against? That's something that we
Right.
have to understand there, right? I'm the man of context. I'm Mr. Context. We can give facts about how much they won by. We can give facts about the performances of the players. But let's surround those facts with some context and do those facts still look as impressive? That's the question to ask, right? I would love to see what they're capable of doing against some of the teams that we predict to be the best, right? Whether it be the NWOs, the OTBs, in theory, Park Legends, although they started 1-1, they should on paper be one of the top teams. Um, Even the Vipers, who I believe should be a threatening team as well. Those are the matchups that I want to see for the long term, right? Not even their first matchup. I want to see the second matchup. If you win the first time, how do you keep that consistency the second time, right? If you lose the first time, how do you bounce back that second time? That's what I really want to see. So I'm team count up, but I'm not prepared to hype anything up after this is the performance they put up against a team that hasn't
Yeah.
shown much yet.
I'm just happy that they didn't play
Excuse
down
me.
to the level of their competition. That's a big thing with Count Up. Count Up seems to always play around who they're playing by, with how many, like, just they mirror their team they play every time. This is the first time I didn't see them mirror someone. The last thing before we move forward, that Mr. Brown, you're 6'9" on a fast break all by yourself. Please dunk the ball. Your teammates booing you was perfect. I loved it. Never do that again. You're 6'9" and laying the ball up. At least slap the backboard. Give me something. That's all.
Listen,
I
before
think Countess would be dangerous though. Really quick,
Yeah.
because we talked about it. The only thing I think that held them back last season with the roster that they have, and I think that they've added on to that roster, was people just didn't show up consistently. You got people showing up consistently, bro, I think that they're gonna be a problem. I really think that by the end of this season, they're another finals favorite possibly.
For sure.
I can
I'm
see
with
it.
you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I love the additions of Beans and Johnny. But before we move on to the third matchup, There is some very interesting stuff going on in the FBA right now that I wanted to bring to light very quickly before we move on to our next matchup. Because it would be great if everybody who is watching this right now goes and taps in. It's going to be probably even worse by the time you get there. Because you're going to see this 24 hours later. It's going to be much worse when you finally get to this. Go tap into the FBA page, man. Go look at the comment section in the most recent post, the FBA versus the MPBA. Go look at the comment section, man. There's a very interesting back and forth going on in this very moment. By the time you guys see this, by the time you get to it, I bet that back and forth is going to get much juicier. Actually, by the time we're done potting and we all go there to see the summary, I think it's going to get a lot juicier.
Wait, where do we go? The MVP. Oh, I see. Okay.
The most recent page. Let's go. It's getting crazy over there. I'm gonna let y'all tap into it, man. But listen, we have an FBA topic coming up later, so maybe I'll bring up a little bit more of it later. But let's finish up our GM5 topic. I just wanted y'all to stop in this very moment, pause the video if you have to, and go check those comment sections. So by the time you guys get to it, it's gonna be lit in that comment section.
I can't find it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm stupid.
Yeah, just click the comment box, but it's fine. Either way though, moving on to the next
I found
game.
it, Tyler. I'll send it to you.
It's getting crazy. Listen, there's some drama going on between a former FBA team and the FBA ownership management, whatever you want to call it. We'll get to that later on. But we got Vipers versus City Ballers. City Ballers made a phenomenal move, and I got some news about that move. You guys tell me, should we talk about the game first, or should I announce the move?
Announce the move.
Talk about the game first.
Talk about the game first? All right, so we have Vipers versus City Ballers.
Before we talk about our notes, before we do, we always talk about what they should do next, right? What they should change. They made a change.
Now we know what they're going to do, so we can just judge them off the move.
Yeah.
Before we judge them off the move, I'm going to give my news first. So let's talk about the game. I'll give my news. You will no longer need to judge the move after I give you my news. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Vipers versus City Ballers. We have 6. I couldn't do math there for a second. A 6-point win by the Vipers there. The Vipers showed a lot of what I've already anticipated. I did think City Ballers was a good team on paper based on what they were bringing to the table. However, that paper is depleted. They do not look like what I anticipated. David Butler did not make his debut. It turns out David Butler will not be joining City Ballers this season at all. They'll be having Nick Choi. For those of you who are familiar with the FBA, is a big man on the Florida flight. Good player, though. Nothing against him. But just by comparison, I do believe David Butler would be more of an impactful player. That's just my personal opinion. But I do believe Nick Choi is good. He has a great attitude to him. He has a good, he's a very vocal type of guy. He comes from the flight organization, who are very organized and very system heavy, which I think could really bring a new light to the City Ballers, because they kind of come off as the hot heads of the league. You know what I mean? So I think he's a good addition for them. And Kenny Long.
Wait.
Huh?
Trap lied to us.
What? Who lied to
That's
him?
not his name.
Who?
Trap's name is not Trap.
I mean, maybe he changed
His
it.
name is Travis.
Maybe he changed it legally. That could be a thing.
You keep going. He lied to us.
As long as I know that man at West Corral, his name's been Trap. I'm not going to question him, especially him.
Yeah, facts. I got nothing to say. If he tells me his name is Trap, his name is Trap.
Trap it is.
Trap it is. But the Vipers looked good, just like I anticipated. City Ballers put up a fight. It was definitely, they kept making a run. They kept getting it close, but just could never close the deal. Spark hit a big 3 to make it a 3-point game, but they could just not convert on the other end and get the stops necessary, or try to force a turnover, whatever the case is that they needed at that moment. And it just turned into a free throw battle, and the Vipers ended up winning the game. I don't have much to say about the game, just because I think the City Ballers are going to have a lot more to worry about going forward that this game won't dictate. But you guys feel free to share your opinion.
I think the issue with City Ballers is I think that they're a very good team. They're a great unit. Like we talked about it during the game. They were losing games last season. They were one of the lower seeded teams last season, but they were losing games by like 2-3 points at a time. The issue now is teams got a lot better. And for the most part, City Ballers returned with the same team that they had last year. They did add Foots. They added David Butler, which obviously didn't show up, and some other additions, which I do like. But other teams did get a lot stronger. So you're coming back with the same roster that could not quite get it done last season, and you're expecting to do better, which I don't think is the worst idea. I think you try. I saw that you made a trade that we'll be talking about in a moment, which I think is a great addition. But I think that there needs to be some other changes, and I'm not sure exactly where, because I do think Kenny is a great point guard, and I do think Marquinhos having Phil, Sedano, Trap, Spark. You have a lot of great people, but I do think some of those you should consider looking at the value on the market and see what you may be able to add.
Yeah.
I think shooting has never really been an issue for City Ballers. I think you have shooters. Spark, we saw him nearly hit a buzzer beater. Consistently great shooter for them. Trap is a great shooter for them. Marquinhos can shoot with anybody. So I think maybe you start looking at centers. I think maybe you start adding some size to your roster.
Someone who can post the ball up,
because-
post the ball up.
Yeah, because you're starting to get up there in age. You want to start getting some fresher legs that can really get out there and pound the ball inside, or at least get rebounds to protect the paint. I think that's where they need to look. The Vipers, man, I don't have much to say about the Vipers. The Vipers have been looking great. The Vipers looked exactly how I thought they would look. They are coming in and they are showing exactly what we thought that Zildo, Liam, all of them could have done last season. Even Jose when he was on OTB, they're coming in and they're playing exactly how we thought. And I think that they're going to continue playing like this.
Jose was on UK last year.
Zildo was. Jose was on OTB by the end of it. Melendez.
No, Jose was in UGK.
By the end of it, he was on
Did you guys
OTB.
get that? Did you guys get that notification?
He was in the playoffs.
No. What, the stats?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to be done by the time we're done.
Yeah.
Jose Melendez was not on OTB last year.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
He was.
Jose Melendez was not on OTB last year. He was UGK. There's somebody else you're thinking of. Jose Melendez?
I promise you, we can ask Bubba. He was playing in an OTB jersey by the end of the season. By the end of the season. I'm not talking about the beginning. I'm not talking about the beginning.
How many games did he play?
Yeah, word.
At least one. He at least wore a jersey one time for OTB. I don't know.
I mean,
I got you.
He's not even on the roster or on the website.
That's crazy.
But you guys keep going.
Yeah. Man, brain fart.
Are you thinking of Sharif by any chance?
I think he might be
the shooter they added at the end.
No.
Jose
was not an OTB last year.
I think the City Ballers. I think Tyler, you're right. They have Chef. Chef is their point guard. I don't think they're weak at point guard. I just think he needs to show up to the game on time. Because it's hard to show up at halftime or even the fourth quarter and try to make an impact on a game where players already have sweet spots that they've been hitting at. There's certain spots like you haven't really acclimated yourself to the game itself. I would have never subbed in if I was Chef. I would have let this play out. They were on a run. They were doing very well. I think when you have a player who's pretty cold, coming in a little late, that's a big thing. And honestly, man,
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. If you were him, you wouldn't have subbed in.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If the team is playing good and they're on a comeback, I feel like I'm taking away from the team. But then again, I have enough awareness and knowledge in my head to be like, I got to sit my ass down and chill. Because I'm now done the whole rotation of a basketball player. Started, bench, been the last player on the bench, been the first guy to start. I've been through the whole. I'm right now a bench guy on my team. So I get it. I come in and I give my big man a break. And I try to do as much as I can within those minutes. So I get the rotation of it all. And I think bucking up a rotation when you're on comeback doesn't ever do good for the team. I've never seen someone go into a rotation on a comeback and it work out for the team. The second thing with this, City Ballers do need a center. I think they've been missing a dominant center who can go out there and give them 10 rebounds and at least 6 to 7 points. Someone who can make an impact and be physical down there. I think some people who should be on that trade block who I don't think really fit that well is Trap, but I know Trap and City Ballers is deeper than just it being City Ballers. I know a lot of those guys are from the same area. They grew up together. But I think Trap being traded can bring in like a Keaton Smith, can bring in like someone who can really help on the board side of things. Also gives Phil more of an opportunity just to guard the best players because he's an excellent defender. I think he's a pretty decent defender and he can shoot the ball.
I'll take
But
Trap
all they're
over Keaton
missing,
any day.
I mean, maybe it was the coaching, at the time, because I remember hearing Trap saying, "I'm not a point guard. Why am I bringing the ball up the court?" When you have a
Well, he probably
bunch
didn't
of
want to be a
wings,
point guard, but he could do everything else.
Yeah,
yeah,
look,
for sure.
he
But
was. They had Kenny last year. It was moments in the game where maybe he was forced to do it, but like they had Kenny. Like he wasn't the point guard.
yeah, I just feel like they can get more depth. They already have a bunch of wing players and wing shooters. Why? What else? Like more like I get it. Having more is nice, but sometimes you need to let go some things to get a little something back. That
Yeah, but you
makes
want to get
sense.
better though. I don't think they get better with Keaton.
That
I think Trap is a better player than Keaton. I think
I
Trap is
think
a better defender and a better shooter.
I don't know about defending.
He is
I
100%.
I don't
I
think
think
so.
Travis is a good defender. I think they're
But I
both
think
really good defenders, but they're different
yeah,
defenders.
yeah. I think Keaton
They're not
Smith
going to
is
play the same type of defense.
no, but I also think he brings a different dynamic to the team where he's not going to go out to the 3-point line and wait for a 3-point shot. He'll go get an extra possession for them. He'll go get another rebound. He'll set a pick or a pin down screen for a shooter. I think Trap
Yeah,
can
you
do
and me
that.
view Trap way differently. Way differently.
Yeah, for sure. I think Trap is more of a winning player, a shooter, and a good defender. I think he's more of a 3 and D than Keaton. I think Keaton can get to the hole, attack that, get rebounds. I don't think Trap. I mean, I know Trap can rebound, but I don't think their archetypes are the same. And I think archetypes have a big thing to do with the ball and getting offensive rebounds and little things like that, like the dirty game that's in between the lines and stuff like that they need to play. I think Smith is perfect for them. He fits their that bad boy ruggedness, dirty, like let me go get the ball that the City Ballers have run to this league. But shout out to the Vipers. They have been consistent. Zuldo is looking like a top tier offensive threat.
A certified
Um,
bucket, bro.
he is a bucket. I don't have nothing else negative to say about the Vipers. I think Liam is a great emotional charge for this team. I think when he is involved and he is engaged, he gives them an emotional, he gives them that edge that they're looking for. That I would say, part of my French, a shit talker, because I don't think they have a shit talker on their team that can go ahead and talk shit to the other guy. At one point, you see Liam and Phil going at it, and that's what happens with
Yeah.
They do
two
have Birdo now.
shit Titans, huh? What'd you say?
They do a Berto. But is Berto really a shit talker like that?
Oh yeah,
I never noticed.
You
I
have to
never
get him rawed
noticed.
up though. But I,
Wait, can I say one thing real quick?
go ahead.
I want to come back. I was wrong about Jose, by the way. I was wrong. I
I
don't
know.
know where I
I
got
was-
that from,
I
but
was
I do
aware.
want to correct myself. I was wrong. And two, one other question: why did they take Phil out? Like when it was like 2 to 3 minutes left, and they were on like the perfect pacing for.
Did he
comeback.
come back in the game?
They took him out. Yeah, he wasn't
was
even fouled
tired.
out. They took him out, and I feel like
He
that
was
just
tired.
kind of like killed their run.
he was tired. He asked to be taken out. He went like this.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, he was tired.
Oh
He
yeah,
was
if
tired.
he
really
asked for a
tired.
sub, then I mean nothing you can do there. But
That's different. Yeah.
yeah, I mean I can understand why he would ask for a sub. Phil was putting in work, man. Phil was putting in a lot of work. I share the same opinion that most people who know Phil share. If anybody has dealt with Phil for a long enough time, and Phil played a game for the Serpents, he practiced with us multiple times to work up to playing that game, and I share the same opinion as everybody else. If he could just lock in and stay focused and not let his head get too hot, Phil is a great player. Phil is a very good glue guy. He does a little bit of everything. When he wants to lock in defensively, he can do that. He rebounds the ball. He can play make. He's very point forward esque. He's a very point forward
Lamar
esque type
Odom
of player.
archetype.
I don't dislike that take. I think that's a good way of putting it, kinda.
That's how I
Um,
view him. Like that Hito Turkoglu, Lamar Odom, like the power point forward. That's how I view him.
Scotties.
I'm
Yeah,
with you.
he can shoot the basketball. It's all about just keeping his composure, and I mean that's something that he's always struggled with since I've known Phil. Obviously, I'm not like I haven't been in this scene for the last 20 years or nothing. So my period of time with these players is like 2, 3, 4 years at best. But it's a consistency that I've always seen, and if he could just figure out a way to keep that out of the basketball court, it would really mean a lot for him as a player. But he did that game. Let me also say that Phil didn't do anything that game. I want to make sure I'm clear. He didn't do anything crazy. He wasn't mad. He got
Controlled
upset.
everything.
Yeah, he had he was mad at some calls or whatever. But everybody's going to be. That
He
was
did good.
fine.
He did good.
And that's why Phil did great because he kept his composure throughout the entire game, regardless of what was happening, regardless of what he agreed. He had a little bit of a bickering fight there with Liam for a moment there, and that easily could have escalated, but luckily it did not. But
He caught himself.
Yeah, I'd say people caught him for him, but I mean, hey, regardless, he was caught. That's all that matters. But that's what I'm saying. Phil played great. I mean, and we raved about him during the broadcast. We raved about his defensive effort. He had a good block, which is probably going to make our top 10, which is probably just going to be 10 blocks. But he played great. He knocked down some shots.
Party.
If he could just keep his composure for the rest of the season, I think he could be a really good piece to gel this team together. But I mean, the Vipers look great. They're gonna get Zay back by next week. I would imagine. Hopefully, who knows what's gonna happen with Greg? Greg also showed up and played great. At least in my personal opinion, he played great. So it's it's the same thing that Tyler said. It's like they have the ability to win. It's just finding that piece that makes the most sense. And City Ballers, although they're not in the same situation as the Lions by any means, this could be the hot take of the evening. I don't truly believe City Ballers has a guaranteed go-to guy. That's just my personal opinion. I think Marquise is a phenomenal shooter, and he can get hot and score a lot. But Marquise reminds me more of Klay Thompson than Damian Lillard, right? Where it's like you have two phenomenal shooters and two of the best shooters in the history of the game, right? But Klay Thompson, he requires an offense to find those shots, if that makes sense. And maybe he could go off on a different team. That's possible, right? We've never seen it, and we will never see it because now he's at the end of his career. But he has always shown us that he requires a set offense to get these shots. They're not looking for him to ISO too often. He'll get an ISO on an occasional basis, but I think that comes from the post more than it comes from the perimeter, right? If he's in the perimeter, he's coming off screens and he's shooting. That's kind of Marquise' game where he's looking for an opportunity to catch the ball, and the best case scenario, pump fake dribble pull up at best, but he's not looking to create a shot. It's kind of just within the offensive scheme of that possession, he's going to find an opening to shoot the ball. Does that make sense? So like, you gotta have a guy who's like, slow it down. Everybody spread the floor. Let's let him work. We need an easy bucket right now. We don't need to tire ourselves out. We need to play. We need an isolation right now, so some of us can catch our breaths. Because on the other end, we're gonna play defense. Why? Because we want to get the ball back to give it right back to this person. You know what I mean? And that's the landscape of the game in that final minutes, in the final seconds of a game. And that to me is why City Ballers loses close games, because they have the spark plugs and the hot hands to always keep points on the board and to always make a run. But then when it's time to close the game out, it's like it's much harder to win a game with play after play after play than it is to win a game with, listen, get the ball to our best guy and let him get us a shot. You know what I mean?
But I don't think the issue is necessarily Marquise can't do that, because I think he can. Clay doesn't receive most of his passes from Steph. He doesn't receive most of it from anybody specifically other than Draymond. The City Ballers have their chef. The City Ballers have a point guard who is Kenny, who has experience. He's touted as being a better point guard. Kenny has to perform better. If Kenny can perform better, Marquise can get that shot. if Kenny performs better, he can be that point guard and he can create for others. They don't have to make these moves, I don't think, to get another wing player or to get a go-to guy if Kenny can create the way that he should be able to create. We saw it last year where he was getting those assist numbers when he was scoring, but Kenny's shot hasn't really been falling. He's not getting to the rim as successfully as he was before. I think that's the move that they need to really focus on. Can Kenny be the point guard that can create for Marquise, who can then be the guy? Marquise can hit those shots. Marquise can hit those game winners. I truly do believe that.
No,
like give it to Phil, you give it to Berto, you give it to Marquise because Kenny is created for them. I think that works. But when your point guard isn't creating,
no, I agree with the fact that he can make those shots. But my point is, when the time is winding down, it's not very often that you're seeing a team focus on the system to find a shot. It's not very often that you see that, where now in the last 2 minutes of a close game, it's time to play that one-on-one game. We need our guy. We need our guy to go off, because you need to attract the attention.
And that's why Kenny needs to establish that. So we've identified now a go-to guy for that game. If he's performing better and he's creating for others, we have a hot hand to feed now.
I mean, I feel you, and I don't disagree with that take. I can't get on board that Kenny's the guy to do that.
Yeah, me
I can't get on board with that.
I'm not doubting Kenny. That's the whole thing. I like Kenny's play style.
Me too. I think
this league through FBA. I think Kenny could do it. That's the thing. It's a challenge.
Possible.
This team could win. As this team goes as far as they let it go, as far as your point guard, as far as your wings, as far as everyone makes it goes, and Kenny's a big part of that as the lead ball handler. He handles the ball the most.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I mean, I think Kenny definitely does have it in him. He has phenomenal games at the FBA. He just finished averaging 24 points per game in Selenation. Excuse me, Selenation. So you are right. He has it in him, but different league, different mentality, I guess. I mean, he hasn't presented himself as that player in the GM5 in the first year that I saw him there. I don't know if that was his first year in the league, but this is my first year seeing him in the league. And you know, only one game down, I can't make a decision yet about this season. But again, he also didn't present himself like that in this game. And if we continue to use the Warriors as an example, you know, why does the Draymond and Clay thing work? Because they have Steph, right? And that's the point that I'm trying to make. That's what I believe they need the most. And if they can find it at any position, I'm not saying they need to find a point guard specifically. I'm saying at a position, if you can find that piece that can be a go-getter, a bucket getter, a guaranteed bucket when it matters the most, I think that can really help the City Ballers assemble into the team that can finally stop losing these games by 6 to 3 points and start winning these games by 1, start winning these games by 2, potentially blowing people out at some point. That's my full-on take. But since we've made it this far, they did attempt to do that. They did attempt to do that and get a guy who historically is the end of the game bucket getter, right? And City Ballers, as you guys, by the time this comes out, everybody's already seen it. City Ballers just traded for Roberto Suarez, but as you may have heard, I did say they attempted to make that move. That move, unfortunately, is not going to happen because Roberto Suarez just got signed to play in Dominican Republic, and he will be leaving on Monday. And that is your breaking news for the
day. Hey, congratulations to Berto, though.
Congratulations to Berto. On top of that, however, he has already made it clear that he will not be able to participate on Thursday with the Serpents because the team requested that he do not play, which would mean he is likely not going to participate on Saturday with the City Ballers either. So I don't know what that means for the landscape of that trade. I don't know what that means in the background of things. This just happened. So nobody was aware of this possibility. In fact, I don't even know if that's true. There's a chance he could have talked to somebody, right? He just told me today, but I did spring the game on him last minute. So me finding out last minute about his thing is because I told him last minute about our thing, right? So that could be why I'm finding out, just 2-3 days in advance. There's a chance that these things were already being talked about in the background, and he let Berger know that, hey, there's potential. I'm looking into this. My agent's helping with this, that, and the third. So I just want to let you know I'm here as long as I'm here to play. But if something happens, I'm going to leave, obviously. So there's a chance that conversation was being had previously with Berga and not with me because the Serpents are literally just now trying to make a comeback, like literally within the last 4 days, right? So maybe that's why I found out last minute. Um, but obviously, the deal wasn't set when City Ballers traded for him. That part of it, the contract being signed, that obviously just happened while we are talking right now. I just got the text. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what the rules are for GM5. If the contract was signed post trade, I don't know, man. Did NWO get away with one? Did NWO get away with one? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section what you guys think, man. I might not even wait till tomorrow. I might clip this up and post it tonight. I'm gonna be honest.
You should, because is this room for City Ballers to like back out of the trade?
It should be. It should be vetoed. I think that's the only right thing
Can
to
they bring
do.
this to the committee? I don't know how that works.
That
I
also
would love
makes
to
me
know.
look at NWO a lot different too, without having that spark plug coming off the bench. That makes me look at them a lot
Do you
different.
think the other spark plug they have off the bench, Tommy?
If he even stays off the bench, because I do think John
They
Kerry.
still had two.
I think John Kerry only started because they wanted him on Dom, which worked to fruition. By the way, putting that out there.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you really have to worry about that.
Yeah, I think
16,
NWO is.
15 point walking out the building.
I think NWO
That's 16,
overall.
15 points.
I think NWO overall is going to be good. I don't think it plays enough of a factor, but I am interested to see where the trade goes. But that's my Nas bomb for the day. We can get on to the last game.
Congratulations, Berto. No, congratulations, Berto.
He's gonna make it stick. This is his Nas bomb.
Last game though.
No, but I'm happy for Berto though. I will say that that's really exciting.
Yeah. Last game of the day, of course, was NWO versus Park Legends. NWO able to pull that off by 20. That was our second mercy rule of the day. Lions Perception being the first. This was the second for the fourth game. I believe there was still a little over 2 minutes left, or a little over a minute for this one. It was a little over 2 minutes for the Lions game, a little over 1 minute for this game. Very disappointing, but no Jay Bird, no Christian Sari. Jay Bird is a starter for the Park Legends. Christian Sari, who I anticipate to be a very good bench scorer for them, an easy to me 14 to 16 points per game on an average night. They missed a lot, but I mean, no excuses. You know what I mean? TP says it all the time. No favoritism, no resumes, all that bull jive, as they like to say, right? So, who you are on paper don't matter. You got to show up and play. That's my opinion. You guys think?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tyler. No, you go ahead, Tyler.
I mean, man, I'm just the makeup of the team is still really interesting to me, and I want to see it work. But it's only been 2 weeks, and you have professionals like Dom, Sean, Nick on that team that I think can make it work. But I'm just the makeup. I'm not on board with it yet. But I will say I did like to see them trying new things. Where you had Sean, kind of playing more inside, or I'm sorry, Nick playing inside, and you had Sean kind of spacing out the floor. We saw him hit a couple threes. I thought that was great. But there's like a set offense that group play that I don't think meshes with the full team yet. And I don't know if it will ever necessarily mesh, because it does require a higher, a fast-paced offense where they are mainly just grabbing the ball and they're going immediately. Oftentimes,
Sean's your big man.
Not even going, they're throwing. Like he's a quarterback for them. And I don't know if that'll necessarily translate for what they're looking for within that team. But that's so many people that you would be looking to trade if that's not working. I think you have to figure out how to make that work. I think it's in your best interest. And I think they have a squad of people that can make that work. But ultimately, though, I think you need to add shooting to that roster. I think Park Legends needs to look, in free agency, once the combine comes around, trades even, what can you add to that team add in some sort of shooting. And I know Story wasn't there, but I think that's a move that they're looking for.
I mean,
Yeah,
NWO, bro. NWO,
like
like I
it's
don't.
good.
before I move on to the next
Go ahead.
team though, to comment on the shooting though, like you have Dom, Shane, Chris, and
But
even
Dom's not really a spot up shooter.
but he's a shooter though.
I wouldn't consider him a
You
spot
still
up.
have to guard him. Like he's gonna spread the floor. Like when he doesn't have the ball, he's in the perimeter, and you're not just gonna stack off of him. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah, but
he is a
Dom is
shooter.
always gonna have the ball. Dom is 100% always gonna have the ball, and whoever has the ball is gonna be guarded by the ball handler. You need other people to shoot too, so you can spread out the floor, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have
I don't
Shane.
expect Dom to never have the ball, though.
You see Sean shooting. You see Nick Wallery is a mid-range shooter. You have Christian Starry. I don't know if I'd say they're lacking shooting.
I would, because I don't think Shane is necessarily a consistently great shooter.
Shane
Yeah.
shot like 45% from three last year.
Yeah, Shane can shoot.
How many points did
I know
Shane
him
have?
personally. He goes to West Brow a lot. He can shoot, Tyler. I know him
You're
personally.
taking it as me saying Shane can't shoot at all. I don't want to confuse that. Shane is a good shooter. Shane is a very good shooter. He's not a high volume shooter. He doesn't
Gotcha.
shoot a lot.
Makes sense. That I
You
just
need higher volume shooters. That's what I think.
yeah. I'm probably gonna get crucified by TP, but I don't really care because this is the real stuff, right? They don't have an identity. They don't have a play style. Dominique for the second week, Dom has not been who he is, an MVP front runner. Probably one of the best scorers in this league. It hasn't gone through Dom, and I mean this with all respect to Nick. I think you have to go through Dom. I think the reason that team was so good last year was with Dom because they went through Dom and there was a pecking order. There's not a pecking order. And when you don't have a pecking order in a hen house, everybody's a rooster. And they have a lot of roosters on that team. I like it. I've been working on my shit. So there's a lot of roosters on that team. There's too many guys cockle-doodle doing, and there's not a lot of guys doing it.
Fuck, bro. Come on, bro.
I gotta keep it going. I gotta keep it going.
You need to stop when you're hot.
You lost your opportunity.
You lost it now. Now it's my turn to talk. We're gonna let Pluto take a break.
I'll bring it back. My take is they have too many good players, and if anybody can make team trades and get something back valuable, it's Nick Wallery. I said it. I think Nick needs to go to a team where he can make an impact, where it's his style. I think that fast pace up and down, it doesn't suit him. It doesn't fit him. It's not his style. He's not trying to run up and down. He says it. I'm almost fucking 50. Give me a break. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a guy that you can isolate, give him a couple, give him 7 to 8 shots a game, and let him create. I think with this team, they can go up and down. They have the identity to do it. They have players like Alton. Alton's an amazing transition player, and he's a great defender. I think he works well with Dom. I think you have Suko. You have number 22 who didn't show up the last game, who can pass out the post, and he can kind of create in that post as well. With Suko, you have a lot of space at that point. You have Sari. You have a lot of players that they can do something with, but I'm going to say it here. I think Nick's the one who has to go, and I think TP has to make that decision because that's just what has to happen. I think they need to get someone who can fit that play style that worked for them, and that literally that team made it to the finals last year. They need to find someone who fits that. Nick is not going to work with Dom. Dom and Shane have their thing. Nick doesn't fit that, and I think that's the truth, and that's the hard pill to swallow. You have a guy who likes to throw it to another guy who likes to run it like damn near like a wide receiver at some points. So, and then you have Alton who can fit that, who can develop chemistry and be in that play style that suits him. I think Park Legend has to get faster, and I think that's the only way they do it is they go make a trade for like a good wing player. Maybe Phil, who knows? But I think that's a trade that needs to happen. That's my opinion.
Listen, you want to hear what the trade is? Right here, right now. Nick Wallery. You're probably gonna have. I don't know if you guys do this, but sometimes they throw in like things like
I was right.
picks or.
I was right. I was fucking right. Go ahead.
What?
He's coming up with the trade.
Right.
I thought you had it. Man, I got excited. Fuck, I did it.
No,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Nas.
What the hell? He got excited out of nowhere. But sometimes they throw in like cash or picks, whatever. You will probably need to throw something in from a value perspective, in my opinion. Whatever that is, you figure that out. But I do believe that it would be in their best interest to go Nick Wallery to the Lions for Keaton Smith. I think Keaton Smith fits the situation in Park Legends a lot more than Nick Wallery does. And I don't believe the Lions, and they're not going to agree with me, but I'm going to say it. I don't believe the Lions are at their best in a fast-paced game. I do believe they're at their best when they play half-court situation where they can get those slashers to the basket, where they can get open looks. And Nick Wallery is a guy who has the respect to draw attention, to draw gravity, and to everybody understands like when Nick has the ball in that post, the likelihood is he's going to score. Right, so if we can get the Lions to do what we've been asking them to do, move without the ball, we have the floor spacers in Josias, we have the floor spacers around in other positions. You get Nick the ball, you run your offense through him, you make him your go-to scorer, you get Pringle to play off of that as much as he possibly can, and I think that's a successful situation. It's going to require a lot of coaching. It's going to require a lot of let's sit down and let's figure this out. I don't think the Lions are ever in a situation where they're willing to let go of their guys because I feel like they're very focused on their core and sticking together. But I like it. I think it's a good fit. And Nick Wallery mentioned he is not happy with his role. TP, you can give me the political. You can give me the political response all you want. You can say whatever you want in the chats. But listen, word around town is that Nick Wallery was not happy with the decisions of him coming off the bench. He still believes he's a quality player and he should still be starting. I'm not revealing my source. I'm just saying that's what I heard. All right? That's all I'm saying. So get that man in a spot to do that.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Just know, I think Nick Wallery, the birdie said verbatim, he said straight up, why the fuck am I coming off the bench?
Listen.
Wait, when did he say this? Was I not here when he said it to you guys?
You were gone.
Nah, you left.
Why did I miss that?
He said what? He didn't say anything. The birdie said everything. He didn't say nothing.
Oh man.
I'm just saying though.
You know how the hen house gets.
If everybody in that situation lets go of their egos and they just focus on, listen, it's about winning basketball games. I think Keaton Smith is a good fit for Park Legends. I think at any point, if he can be on the court with Sean, he's going to be very successful because they can both bring that.
Keaton on the fast break? Oh my God,
exactly, bro. Like he can be very successful with somebody like Sean. They're going to be able to get those rebounds. They're going to be able to push the ball up the court. Listen, y'all don't got to do it. Just consider it. And that's all I want.
He can be their Terrell Christian. He can be the makeshift Terrell Christian for that team. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying he has the capabilities to defend, rebound, and I think that's some of the things Terrell did really well with them.
As long as we are clear that he's not as good, I'm on board with that. I am on board with that.
I believe he's
like
as good.
A certified bucket from like 3 different areas on the court.
Yeah, as long as we can clarify that Terrell Christian is a better player overall. As long as we put that out there, I can get on board with the take for once.
But their hustle factor, the way they hustle, is about the same. And that's all they need. Sometimes you just need some heart. And I'm with that.
I think Keaton brings similar interior defense. And I mean, off the top of my head, I can't remember who was starting at the 3 for them. But I mean, shoot, it's not a bad idea to consider Keaton for that. I would say bring him on the bench, though. That might be the best idea, probably. But it's not going to hurt to have that size because you have Jay Bird, you have Sean, and you put Keaton in there, you put Dom. You know what I mean? That's a sizable squad that can run and gun and shoot. You know what I mean?
That's some good rebounding.
Yeah, some great rebounding. But I would say bring him off the bench, though. But either way, that's all, what ifs and scenarios like that. So just take it into consideration, y'all. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
But do we want to move on to the upcoming schedule?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck? Why did you have to think about it? All right, we have.
I've been looking at old teams. We'll go into that another time.
All right. Well, we have week 3 action to start off the day. We got City Ballers versus Count Up. I'm not. I'm almost positive Blake left. I am almost positive, but I could have
No, he's gone. He's
misunderstood.
gone. He said it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he. Yeah, so there you go. So I mean that taking that into consideration, with the news on Berto, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to give City Ballers an L here. I'm gonna have to go with count up.
Yeah, y'all already know where I'm going. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it in the Ville. Let's go, boys. Keep it going.
Actually,
Keep it
no.
going.
Listen, I always side with you guys, especially when it comes to count up, because I'm from Deltona. I'm gonna go City Ballers for once. I'm gonna go against the grain.
Listen, all the favorites won
Also,
last
because-
week.
Exactly. So none of the favorites are gonna win this week.
Oh, okay. What I'd probably consider the game of the week: Vipers versus On the Bench. We may see a debut of Romello Bates, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm not mistaken, Keith still appears to be a part of the roster. Let me double check while I say this, but on the bench versus Vipers, I do believe Vipers are a phenomenal team that can compete with the best teams in the league. I believe the upsets will happen later in the season, though. So I'm going to give it to On the Bench for the first matchup.
Is this even an upset? Like whoever wins, I think they're evenly matched.
I think being the reigning champions, you just kind of always have to be the favorite, on a Vegas board.
Roster changes though. Remember, Rod's not there anymore.
That's true, but I said it before. A fully rostered OTB this season, I do believe they are better. I do believe that.
That's fair, but that's not the championship squad. Huron's not there. There's a lot on that lineup that's not there.
But if they're better,
And that's where I would say I'm gonna go Vipers.
Got OTB.
My decision is based off Melo being there, and being present, and their whole team being there. I think OTB has this weird thing where all their players show up when it matters. Bubba has a sense of urgency. I think Bubba saw how good the teams are. He's not going to admit that. I don't think he's ever going to admit that. But the teams are a lot better, and it's a lot closer to you than further away, Bubba.
He has admitted it. He admits it every offseason.
He brought the trophy to assert dominance.
Yeah, every offseason he's in the chats letting everybody know he's going to make moves to make sure he keeps up. He's very vocal.
Man, this is a tough one. This is a pick 'em for real. I'm gonna go with OTB. Somehow, somewhere, they always come out when everybody's there. They're pretty legit. When everybody's present, they don't lose games. I'm gonna go OTB. OTB with this one.
OTB. My take is also reliant on Romello Bates. I'm not sure the situation with Keith. He was on the roster before the season started. He didn't show up for game 1. They had a bye for game 2, so we'll see what happens. We'll do our research, but I'm not taking Keith into consideration. I'm not even going to lie. So based on the roster that they had with Romello, I would take OTB for sure. Game 3.
Vipers, if you listen to this, consider picking up Greg. Great pickup.
Yeah, facts. I think Greg is a phenomenal player. I think he'll be great for them this season if they choose to keep him for the rest of the year. Then we have Dream Chasers versus Park Legends. I hate to be negative Nancy, but I'm going to have to say the Dream Chasers are going to start this season 0-3. I think the Park Legends can bounce back and get themselves back on a winning circle.
Yeah, I can't side with any team that hasn't won yet going into the third week. So I'm going to have to go with Park Legends as well.
Yeah,
I also think they're stronger.
Yeah, I got to go Park Legends just based off size and having an MVP front runner versus a team that doesn't have an identity yet. And not that Park Legends has one themselves, but I think they have more capable players. And not taking away from Dream Chasers, but I'm going Park Legend. I think this is a bounce back. I think TP has a sense of urgency. He as well. I know this is his league. He's a part owner of this league. So I know to him, this week's a big week. Week 3s are usually big weeks when it comes to having a season this short. So yeah, I'm gonna go Park Legends. I think they're gonna have a good game. I think they're gonna figure themselves out this game.
I agree 100%. And then last but not least, we have Prey has a bye week, for those of you who are wondering where they're going to be. But the Lions versus the NWO are going to wrap up the day, the afternoon.
Tough way to
I think
start
any
the
team that goes
season,
against
man.
NWO is going to be a beating, bro. I just, for a little while,
Yeah.
I just think that's how it's going to go. They just got to
Do I even
stack
have to say?
roster.
Yeah, I feel bad for like their schedule. Like they're on some top teams that they're
Listen,
getting like
I'm stirring the pot.
initiated into this league with.
I'm stirring the pot, and I'm
But
gonna ask a question. What team would you have them beating?
Dream Chasers.
no comment.
I think it's unfortunately going to be between them two at the end.
Tyler's still commenting.
What?
He's holding the
What
North
happened?
Frat letter right now. I respect
Hey,
you, Tyler.
I'm
Me and Nas are like,
I'm being realistic to you. I think those are two teams, and City Ballers potentially, but we only saw 1 week. But those are two teams that like probably
I'm not
consider
gonna
doing
lie.
something.
Nah,
I'm gonna say
I have
something.
hopes for City Ballers. I don't think it's
Me
just one
too.
game. Like Phil said himself, it's just one game. You know, listen, I get paid to talk shit, so sometimes I'm gonna say shit you're not gonna like. But I do believe City Ballers has all the potential in the world to win games and to be competitive. They have the talent, even though I think they could use some upgrades. But we'll see how the rest of the season goes for them. But the Lions,
Yeah.
listen, I told you what you got to do, in my opinion. And I told everybody in the beginning of this season, I'm this year I'm here to talk my shit. I get it. We want to build relationships and we want to be friendly and we want to listen. That's not what I'm here for. It's Hoop Talk the podcast. I'm here to give my opinion. I'm here to podcast. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, and I'm with Nas on that. Like the hate I've been getting every game I play in the Ox League because I talk about you guys is absolutely disrespectful. But I'm here for it. You
that's
know what
not
I'm
the only
saying?
reason you're getting
Hey,
hate.
that's what
You
you
have
been
been
talking
doing
shit, bro.
nothing but terrorizing every person on the court. This man will spend there. It's a 40-minute game. He'll spend 35 minutes on that bench just yelling and cussing people out, telling them that their kids ain't shit,
Like,
that
we
their
don't got a
grandma ain't
podcast to
shit.
do.
Like no.
Yep.
Yeah,
But to keep
that's
it fair, they always
This man talking more shit than scoring points.
hold on. To keep it fair, I always get picked on first. I never use the power
No.
of my
That's a
media.
lie.
no.
That's a fucking lie.
You
That's a
talk
lie.
first. The
Last
moment,
week,
as soon as your
I
voice
did
is
nothing.
heard, that means you're initiating things. The moment you speak and you say, "Oh, that's a brick," "Oh, guard him," "Oh, he ain't got nothing on you," as soon as you say something, even if you're not directing it at someone, that is you initiating the argument there. That is
why can't we take my day job away from what I'm doing in the Ox League? I that's all I'm saying. But regardless, I like it. I'm here for him. I'm a natural shit talker. This does nothing to me. It rubs off me. You guys, I view this as like a brotherhood. Ox League is fun. The big man on the Serpents now, me and him talk like every time he comes up to me and asks me, should I get a double double today? Like everybody who I talk shit with or who I get into it with, eventually it's all love. It's a conversation. You can ask these guys. I'm a natural. I can suck at something, and if I beat you once, I beat you. Now it's my time to talk shit. So like,
because you only got me once, and I never stopped hearing it ever.
so,
Wait, but one thing that you said,
I'm saying,
real quick, you mentioned the Ox League, bro. Like the Lions have that benefit of having the Ox League as a resource you can pull talent from. Check if
They
any
do.
of them are available. Have them join the combine. Have them join the free agency. Like you have a pool of people that are nice, like really nice. Like
they have
Tyler's over
really
there.
good players in that league. You have Tyler
Yeah.
Rodriguez in that league. Make a phone
You have
call.
Rodrigue.
Hit him up. Rodrigue, my bad. My teammate. MVP frontrunner should be.
You have D.
You
Lee,
have
who's
our
a
team.
reigning champion. He was. You could see. I know he wasn't really available for you guys
Who?
pretty often. That was like a D. Lee, D'Angelo Lee. I don't know why I call him D. Lee. I'm thinking of
Also, another if a team's looking for a viable big man, I have a great big man on my team as well.
we
And
have.
so
Oh,
does
I thought
Ty.
you were to say you. I thought you
Yeah,
were to
no,
say
no,
you. I
no,
was about
no,
to
no, no.
disconnect.
I know my limits. So does, and another resource of that league, the Serpents have a decent big man as well who can stretch the floor and hit a couple of middies. Like there's actually viable, and you're not lying, Tyler, talent that could do something in that league, and they have a pool of players they can really handpick themselves. And I think I might look at that with them this Friday.
listen. There's a
Sure.
limit of how many people they can add, so let's keep that into consideration. But
That's why I said combine and stuff.
I believe they,
specifically.
yeah, I believe they can do it. They can make something happen to where they could at least add two. You add Sean and Tyler from the flight, aka from the Lions.
You got a roster.
That can make a difference. Tyler is the go-to guy you are missing. Tyler is a bucket getter, and I know the
And
GM5
Sean's a
guys.
defender.
I know the GM5 guys gonna say he got to prove himself. Blah 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 blah. You
Hate
talent,
that.
talent for talent. Tyler's like that. I want you to understand. You know what I mean? So talent for talent, he's gonna go up against the best players in the GM5. Now you're not gonna believe it because he has to prove himself. No resumes, no favoritism. Blah blah blah. Whatever the fuck.
Rolls
Tyler,
eyes. Rolls
talent,
eyes again. Rolls eyes again.
talent.
But those guys have seen him at least. The ones who'd be
they
picking him
have
up.
talent for talent. He's gonna get buckets with Rod. He's gonna go toe to toe with Melo. Talent for talent, he can do that. So listen, Lions. He's got a Lions jersey in the Oxley. Tell him to bring it.
And I agree.
Suit up.
I agree with that. I literally am a player coach. Most of my time is coaching on that team and motivating. And I think Tyler's a great leader. He's got aspect of his games. He understands where he's good at and where he's not. I don't want to make this a sideshow about my team doing so well, but we have players on our team that can definitely benefit. The Lions can definitely benefit from, and the league in general. Because me and Nas spent some time watching the the Vipers play. We spent some time just in that league. There's some guys in there. I think the Vipers just played the guy on Death Star. Not Death Star. On they had the really cool uniforms. They're big man.
Loaded. Nice.
Loaded's power forward or small forward. He's legit. Like, he's a legit walking bucket. Like, no one could stop him. And you have Jello, another person who could guard, who played in the GM5 before for OTB. Like, there's some talent in there that they can really go in there, and I might have to go talk to them this Friday, because I could do something with that. But Nas says I can only add so many players, so we'll see what we can do. Yeah, but it's a conversation.
Before we even worry about this, but if you got names over there, you could lean on. There's a lot.
Yeah, true.
And there's also people free agency. We brought up some during the games, but we're not gonna bring them up again because we brought up Maine probably 35 times. And
hey, listen, word around town here. We go another Nas bomb. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Or you may have read it somewhere else. Jermaine Johnson is not welcome back in the GM5, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
I'm not here to reveal my sources. Jermaine Johnson is not welcome back in the GM5. We're going to talk about this
on Fortnite, though.
Ownership has stated that if a team tried to pursue him, they would not allow him to be signed to the GM5 due to some disagreements, due to some, as they like to put it, he does not fit the culture or the vision of what GM5 is looking to be. And there's a lot of reasons for that, which I am familiar with, but I will choose to keep it to myself. And wrap up our GM5 conversation with that. What do you guys think? Yeah. I got one last topic to wrap up the podcast. Quick and simple. Just an announcement, really, a shameless plug. Serpents are back, ladies and gentlemen. We know we want to talk about local basketball more, so I want to bring that up to everybody. Serpents are back for one game for right now. After that, we're going to do our job, do our recruiting, do our whole, combine / tryouts or whatever. But the Serpents are going to come back, hopefully making a return to the FBA next year. And we're going to be playing against New Providence Select Team, which is basically an all-star team from the New Providence Basketball Association in the Bahamas. So we're going to be playing their Select Team / All-Stars roster this Thursday, 7 p.m. at Seminole State College. If you would like to support us, we'd love it. We'd love to have you. Tickets are $15 if you choose to buy it on our website. If you want to show up to the game and buy in person, it is $20. So take the discount while you can. That deal is going to be done by the end of September 10th at the end of the night. So if you want to support us, man, we'd love to have you. We'd appreciate you being there. As we mentioned earlier, Roberto Suarez unfortunately will not be in attendance, but we would love to have you. The FBA will be competing against that team 3 nights in a row. The Crocs are taking them on Friday, and the reigning champions Florida Flight will be taking them on Saturday. So that team has 3 games back to back to back. If they think they can handle it, hey, that's on them. I don't think anybody told them the FBA is where the competition's at. So, listen, unfortunately, we get them at their freshest, but we're gonna put belt to ass. We're gonna have a lot of returning players. Check us out on Instagram at vc.serpents to get the updates on what players will be returning. And you can also get the link to pre-order your tickets to make sure you can get those $5 off. And if you decide to show up, we appreciate you. If you can't, it'll be live on the FBA page on YouTube. Either way, I appreciate you for whatever support you decide to bring to the table. All right, hit me up in the comment section or DM me on the page at vc.serpents. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to help. But that's it. That's what I wanted to put in there. My shameless plug for the day. Did you guys
We'll
have
be there.
anything?
Nah, Hoop Talk will be there live. So not like working, but supporting.
Yeah,
Well-
that's what. Yeah, Hooptalk Pluto will be there live and working.
Nah, just Pluto.
Hooptalk Tyler will not be available.
All right, well, that's all we have, ladies and gentlemen. That's episode 2 for season 3. We appreciate you, man. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share with all your Hooper friends and family. Whoever wants to find out about what's happening in local sports around Central Florida, man, this is the place to be. So make sure y'all tap in as often as possible. Hoop Talk, the podcast, got all the info for you, all the breaking news, all the Nas bombs. We appreciate y'all, man. Subscribe and deuces. Hoop Talk out.
Deuces.
Y'all getting